Today we're diving into a really profound, kind of mind-bending idea from the mystical writings of Hazrat Inayat Khan. It's this: what if the universe, and that means you, me, everything, isn't made of matter at its core, but of sound?
So let's just start with this question. Forget the Big Bang Theory you learned in school for just a minute. What if the beginning of everything wasn't a chaotic explosion, but a vibration? A single cosmic note that's still echoing through everything we see and touch right now.
Now, you've probably heard this line before, from the Bible. But in these mystical traditions, the word isn't about language as we know it. No, the word, as Inayat Khan explains it, is sound. It is vibration. It's that first creative pulse that everything else springs from.
Okay, so you might be thinking, that's a cool idea from one mystic, but is it isolated? Not by a long shot. And this is where things get really fascinating, because this idea of a creative sound pops up all over the world, across different cultures and different centuries.
I mean, just look at this. It's basically the same core truth in different wrapping paper. In Christianity, you've got the Word. In Islam, creation begins when God speaks the command kun fayakun, which means be and it became. It's a sound that brings reality into existence. And in the ancient Vedanta texts from India, they have a name for it, Nada Brahma, which literally means the sound God. The language is different, but the core idea is identical. Sound is the source code of reality.
This ancient legend just perfectly captures the magnetic pull of sound. Think about this for a second. You have a soul, just pure spirit, and it does not want to be squeezed into a physical body. So what could possibly convince it? Not an argument, not force, but music. The angel's song was so beautiful, so intoxicating, that the soul was just drawn right in. It's as if music is the native language of the soul itself.
So, if everything starts as this invisible, primordial sound, how does it become, well, this? The solid, visible world all around us. The mystics lay out this incredible process of densification, this cosmic journey that takes us from sound to sight.
Here's how it unfolds. It all begins as pure, inaudible vibration, a silent, original state of being. The very first form it takes that we can perceive is audible sound. Then, from that sound, the vibration gets even denser, even slower, until it manifests as visible light and eventually the entire physical world. So get this, sound literally comes before sight in the creation of the universe.
And here's the real key. Spirit and matter aren't two different things. They're the exact same thing, just vibrating at different frequencies. Inayat Khan gives us this perfect analogy. Think about water and snow. Snow is just water that's gotten really dense and slow, right? Well, matter is just spirit that has become dense. And spirit is just matter that's been refined to a higher vibration. It's all just one big spectrum.
Okay, so if the whole universe is a symphony, that means we are part of that symphony too. Our lives, our actions, our very presence in a room, it all expresses a certain tone, a rhythm. And that brings us to what's called the law of harmony.
You know this intuitively. We're all basically walking radio stations, constantly broadcasting our inner state. You can feel it when someone walks into a room, can't you? A friendly person has this harmonious vibe. And someone who's angry or upset, well, you feel that discordant, jarring note just as clearly. It's a language we all understand without a single word being spoken.
And the signs of this disharmony leak out everywhere, in the tiniest details. A harsh voice, a tense look, jerky movements. Inayat Khan even says you can see it in things like handwriting. But my favorite example he gives is a story where he could tell his friend was angry just by looking at how disharmoniously his turban was tied.
So what does perfect harmony look like in a person? There's this incredible story about Umar, a caliph who was so perfectly in tune with the universe that when an attacker came at him with a dagger, the guy just dropped it. He was completely disarmed by Umar's mere presence. And when he asked what power Umar had, the answer was simple: my at-one-ment with God. It wasn't about religion. It was about being so in tune, so resonant with the music of the universe that no disharmony could even get close. All right, this is all very profound, but what do we actually do with it? How can we start to tune our own instrument? Well, it all begins with a power you have right now, the creative power that lives in your own voice.
In a lot of mystical traditions, there's a practice called dhikr, which is basically the repetition of a sacred word or phrase. But, and this is the important part, it is not mindless chanting. The power isn't in the words themselves, it's in the feeling, the intention, the heart that's producing the sound. It's about aligning your entire being with the vibration of that idea.
And you can see how this works in our everyday lives. When you're constantly saying, "I'm so unlucky," or "nothing ever works out for me," what are you doing? You're practicing the vibration of misfortune. You're giving it more life. But if you hold the vibration of what you desire, saying, "My ship is coming," even when the sea looks empty, you are actively creating the harmony that will attract it to you.
So this is so crucial. Your words have real, creative power. When you speak against your own desire, when you complain about what you don't have, you actually weaken the very thought vibrations that could bring it to you. You're essentially playing a song that's pushing your own ship further out to sea.
So what's the endgame? What is the ultimate expression of this whole philosophy? Let's wrap this up with one final, powerful story that just nails it perfectly.
Okay, so picture this. There's a guy named Tansen, and he is the greatest musician in the land, a certified genius playing for the powerful Emperor Akbar. And the Emperor asks him, "Who taught you to be this good?" Tansen's answer is just incredible. He says, "I can't call my teacher a musician. I must call him music. He's on a completely different level."
The emperor is so blown away by this that he agrees to go in disguise, pretending to be a servant, just to hear this master. And when the master finally sings in his cave in the Himalayas, it's not a performance. It's described as a psychic phenomenon. The trees, the animals, the very air of the forest, it all started to vibrate along with his song. He wasn't just singing a song, he was channeling the song of the universe.
Later, the Emperor asks Tansen, "Hey, can you sing that song again?" And Tansen tries, but the magic is gone. The life isn't there. And this is his explanation, and it's the whole point right here. He says, "I sing before you, the king of this country. My master, he sings before God. That is the difference." One was a performance, the other was pure transmission.
And this is how Inayat Khan described that same ultimate goal for himself. It's so beautiful. He said he practiced his instrument, the veena, until his own heart became that instrument. And then he just offered it up to the divine musician. He said, "Since then I have become his flute." The goal is to stop trying so hard to be the musician and to just become the music itself.
So that leaves us with one final thought to sit with. If your life, your entire being, is an instrument in this vast cosmic orchestra, what music is it playing right now? What rhythm, what tone, what song are you sending out into the universe?